PTA and do as much damage as possible. But no, gonna go for Conquer, gonna try and be a little bit more effective in the extended fights as the game progresses.
Yeah, absolutely. As we now hopefully load into the Rift. Apparently something is cooking right now with my setup, so definitely not looking too good. Either way, I hope this setting will work out. As we are now onto the Rift, we see all this wound setup, as you just now addressed those, right? The cleanse and the heal on the Nami side, something that's not that unusual, as now we see. Yeah. Not really much happening in this first level. I mean, you have Nami on the one side, Panther on the other. Actually, with Panther, you might just try something. And Emperor definitely is trying something here, but I'm not quite sure if he should.
Oh? Yeah, I don't necessarily think he was expecting Hosmer to be there, but because this is a very dangerous situation, he had the Ignite down. He has the E level up, so he will get over the wall. This puts a pretty decent damage into Guri, but yeah, I don't think he was expecting Hosmer to be there. I think I was just trying to get the cheese kill onto Guri. He would have gotten it if it was a 1v1.
Yeah, and Emperor not dying there is almost criminal, right? I mean, he just face checks two people, blows everything onto the tank, and it ends up being almost fine for him, but he, of course, now down both his summoner spells, annoyed Guri a little bit there, and Guri is still being chunked, but he's a jungler, right? And in the jungle, every camp is like a Pokemon center, right? You heal back up quite a bit if you have the smite button. So, at the end of the day, I think that's a small win for Saigon Buffalo already. However, what's not a small win for them is this bot lane matchup, because Lucian Nami, not very strong level 1, despite being known as such a bully lane initially, definitely has to respect Xayah and Pantheon so early on, and needs a bit of time to really scale into it. Probably like the Gale Force Imperial Man and Power Spike as per usual, the point where they are really strong. I'll tell you, however, though, Xayah and Pantheon are also very strong one-item champions, so let's wait and see how it will really play out between these bot lane matchups. And Guri, yeah, he's still kind of suffering from this early chunk, but so is Emperor. I mean, he is in the winning matchup, but Cassante having such a nice few first waves, definitely something that he's happy with. But Froggy? Oh no.
Okay, Froggy's gonna flash, but the knock up, the charm, it's good. DNK will be the one who claims that kill. That's first blood onto the Lysandra. A good start for SBTC.
Absolutely though, and Froggy flashing kind of early there as he was seeing the enemy opposition right there, but the wall breaker landing afterward the flash means that DNK can reward himself, and Guri now set behind a bit further, also tanks another wall breaker, and oh no, Pallet can just annoy him even more.
Oh, Pallet can just
kill him! What? Wow!
Okay. Woo! Okay, he actually does get the kill, the flash away. Had enough despite Taki's healing. Man, it's Enpa's play in the top lane. He doesn't get to see any real reward from it individually, but it has paid off. Now Palette, with these double buffs, can be super aggressive with the spears, can just walk up to Shogun, forces the cleanse immediately. Everything's looking dandy for the side of SBTC. But Shogun's gonna try and get something back.
Yeah, so far, and Guri, yeah, now also falling down once. Against the enemy support, definitely something that hurts. Yeah, he wants him back. He wants revenge. Palette actually staying around though, so something that he can maybe go for. But he's on vision all the time. Like Guri doesn't really find his groove in this early game, and the Sejuani has been first pick for him, so he definitely needs to justify this pick to some extent. As Hasmet so far still having fun against Emperor, and I wonder how this really shifts, because we know Gwen outscales the Cassandra in the side lane, but if he's set back like 2 full waves against Cassandra, I wonder if he ever really gets to catch up to him, because it's looking so good for Hasmet right now.
Yeah, it's very good in the CS department, and it can mean Hasmet can get to a position where maybe, even though I don't think he necessarily has that kill threat onto the Gwen specifically, can start to be a menace that Slater has to worry about, that Dia has to worry about if he leaves the lane and goes into the sides, and Dia putting the hurt onto Froggy. Glad to see this mid laner, this old veteran of DO1 regaining some of his form when he was known as the most lane dominant player in the league.
Absolutely, and with that, DNK starting off this mountain break. The bot lane, of course, having a good priority, good control of the lane. We also see the good CS lead by the side of Slater. Palette, of course, with his early kill up onto the enemy jungler. Definitely happy about how the game is really playing right now. And Lucian and Nami not really finding room to breathe so far. They are being pushed in, which nets DNK this mountain break. And Guri just also struggling to really find an impact in this game. Definitely DNK pulling up ahead in this early game. Can go for his Quacks on this side, on the side of Gooby. And all just that from this level 1 play from Endpal, maybe a little bit. Just him going for this 1v2 almost suicide mission. But he himself is the one who's suffering the most from it, right? Husband is ahead now, but what
Yes.
really does it net you if Cassante is slightly ahead of the Gwen? He has more time now to not lose in side lane, but if that's all it really took, it's very well for SBTC. I mean, mid lane is looking good, jungle's looking good, bot lane as well, and SBTC can fire on all cylinders basically.
Yeah, and it's really just a matter of time before SBTC considers sending some help up there. If Hearthmander keeps pushing up into the tower, right now he's going to back and be a little bit stronger with that ability. Enpa, of course, had to teleport at level 1, so it's going to be a little bit of time before he can actually impact the lane with start getting the items under the belt in a way that actually will influence this matchup. But now Taki on the roam, Taki trying to match up with Guri, see if they can regain any pressure as Palette just needs to just sort of lurks into the bot lane and says, hey, Shogun, step up. Yep, Shogun has cleanse, so he should feel a little bit more comfortable, but it's still not something you really want to do up against this Pantheon.
He doesn't look that comfortable, I just gotta say. Either way, also Foggy down so many CS, but I mean, of course, he got ganked and taken down once, but it's just maybe a little bit of a callback to the older Foggy past, where he was definitely struggling to just CS in the 1v0 situations. So that's not something that really should happen. I think on the Lissandra you can somewhat afford it, as she is definitely something that can work with a decent amount of utility. But of course, still not something you really want to see if you are a Saigon Buffalo fan. DNK now looking for this top lane gank, but is spotted out as he sees with the Sweeper and Hasmet. Together with this huge minion wave, of course, can easily fight against the Vi. And Emperor just wants to pick up this CS on his own. He's down enough CS. And DNK so far just having the time of his life. Can just go for the first Drake, can go for the first Herald, and no direct resistance coming through from the side of Gobi. However, bot lane is level 6 right now and Gobi is around. However, the SBTC bot lane definitely sees that one coming.
Yeah, we see Palette went to try and get another play onto Shogun, cleanse forced. Palette took a pretty decent brunt of damage from that, but now he has a Dirk in hand. If he comes back down, he can try and make something impressive happen, but we do need to see where this will go. Curry can't quite find it. It's a good ultimate from Slater. The bubble is also nice from Taki catching him on the way down, but it's just going to be a little bit of damage onto Slater, and he's going to be completely fine.
Absolutely. We'll just pick up this wave under the turret and probably recall White then. In the item department, he's exactly even to Shogun, probably able to shop a little bit right now. Maybe going towards that Gale Force completion, but maybe not quite, as he will probably just now grab the boots and a little bit of component money right now. As Gobi now starting off his chickens. We have just now seen him, he is level 6, could use his ultimate, but that one wasn't quite a W, as DNK is contesting so much of him. Gobi never really recovered from this level 1 play.
No, he's gonna actually manage to get those Raptors, and now Froggy's on the roam first, so maybe DNK's in a bit of trouble, but can Vault Breaker over the wall, nothing to follow up. I'm loving these bot laners who are just dead even, exact the same itemization, and said Shogun drops that one pink ward to undo that, but it's so neck and neck there in the bot lane. It's exciting. I'm still waiting for something to happen. Palette now sitting on a ward.
And gotta say, Shogun and Taki are at least stable.
Now.
While they are down, but they are just now down like one wave, and that's like from level 1 to level 2, like kind of the thing that's inevitable, I gotta say. So I think they are kind of stabilized, and they are just now slowly and patiently waiting for their power spike, with the Gale Force Imperial Mandate being through. And Guri just now, not being in vision, could just go for another play and show Slater maybe taking some damage. Tidal Wave coming through, but here might just be the play, and I don't really get to see it. It's so sad.
Yeah, everything comes through. A lot of damage dealt onto Slater. A good bubble onto Palette will also force that second flash. In the end, it's Summoners blown on the side of SBTC Esports, but I mean, we've just seen Guri kind of set up a camp down there, which is helped Shogun and Taki out a lot. That means they haven't really fallen behind. They've stayed back under their tower. They've weathered the storm, and they've been able to do a bit. But that's 2 attempts Gory has made down there. He hasn't managed to really gather all that much from it. And due to resets, it should be a dragon for the side of SBTC. So they're actually continually coming up on top. So I might see Gory try to contest this.
I think he shouldn't though, like he's 1v2, but actually he maybe could, or at least just look for the potential steal, because they can't really fight the Drake and him at the same time. Gory might just go for the steal, but he doesn't get it as he gets locked on by the cease and desist. Also gets ignited, but I think he will easily survive this one. With the ignite by Palette being kind of a waste. However, I think SE got what they really wanted there. I mean, it's a second Drake. They are a decent chunk ahead in gold right now, and that's all they really wanted so far from this Pantheon support pickup. And DR1, does he get collapsed on? He can't. I mean, Froggy not really having the damage, but it's just Lost Chapter and the cooldown boost. Can't really kill an AoE with that one.
Yeah, just having to evacuate, they couldn't quite get the kill on Taguri, given Saigon Buffalo rather, were just a little bit faster on the collapse overall. Now I'm gonna sort of see Pantheon making his way down mid lane. He has the ultimate in hand, so we're gonna have to see if he can make use of that first one. Running down mid. He's here. He's making the move, but it's a good claw. It's a good claw from Froggy, and that's very, very lackluster first ultimate. But Froggy can't really stick around. Doesn't have that ultimate, so if he steps too far forward, can just get caught up in the CC chain. But you know, just a few plates over to DR1 and DNK. Small gold advantage.
Bot lane.
Not the biggest, but oh, good Lord Slater is taking a lot of damage from the culling right now, eating pretty much every shot. He can try and get onto Taki. Shogun's gonna flash in first and interrupt it. Now it's still a 3v2. Slater being left alone on the spot side. Can DNK find something? No, with a heal on top of Shogun, he should start to be fine, and Palette has to back away with DNK, and it's a big win for SGB, finding the angle, finding the 2v1.
Yeah, very good play by the side of the bot lane from SGB right there, going for this clean dive to get Slater really done, and Slater actually made a good amount of effort to really play it out and survive as long as he possibly could, get a bit from the minion wave right there, and he got this one, but the inevitable wasn't really possible for him to prevent. Here, good feather storm by him, we see it in the replay, and Shogun then landing a lot of culling shots onto him, and it's just Slater, yeah, he tries to just make it as small of a loss as possible, goes for the wave, eventually just dies, forcing Shogun's flash on this because he was taking the turret aggro and just had to walk all the way through it. Now Hasmet is on to Emperor, but this probably won't
achieve anything. Yes, can't really achieve much, and yeah, we just seen this. Except that one kill on Taguri, this Pantheon has been quite unimpactful. It helped them secure these first 2 Drakes, which I suppose is a bonus for a benefit and what you're sort of looking for this champion to do, but that first ultimate in the mid lane was a complete flop, and the cross map from SGB was beautiful. So by no means are they out of this game. It's only 1,000 gold in the lead for SBTC plus objectives. Now maybe something can happen if DNK finds the angle, but it's always a bit risky to gank a Cassante.
Definitely is so, but I don't think he can 1v2 really in this situation. Like, the Gwen does way too much damage, especially with Ignite being there. And here the Vault Breaker comes in. It is Hasmet being chunked down, using the Ghost, using the All Out, but he can just easily get locked down. Vault Breaker in, and Emperor actually gets the last hit with the Needlework coming through. So Hasmet, yeah, just overextended a little bit. Wanted the wave all the way in, got this one. DR1 gets knocked up, and also gets Glacial Tombed. But the stasis by so much time. He lives.
So much. He lives. He gets that Spirit Rush away, and even though SBTC kind of couldn't do anything to counterplay that from the side of the bot lane, it's a lot committed. It's no kill onto Dia. It does give them position for this Rift Herald, but with a DNK back on the map alongside Enpa, maybe they can't actually go for it. It's okay. It was DNK actually trying to start it up and then having to leave. Everything's settling. It's all normal.
It absolutely is. And SE now still with the around 2k gold, but they had this one for quite a while just now. Want to see if they can really snowball it one, but I think to some extent they really have to with this Pantheon pick in the bot lane. Being this one inclining, that scales actually decently worse than the Lucian Army bot lane would be on their side. However, on the other side, they could just use it as a bridge pick to really propel the side lane further ahead as Emperor now against Hasmid after getting this kill we got earlier. Should be quite fine. We just now see the gold ranking on the left side of the screen, where Hasmid just now being slightly behind of him actually. Especially considering the early game they had, it's kind of surprising a little bit. And they could just use him to really make use of him in the late game to go for a 4-man squad to just defense, while Hasmid is getting pushed in by Emperor and ultimately she would just fall to the split push power. So let's wait and see how SE really approaches it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing Slater a little bit left to dry in the gold department, so we need to see SBTC try and find the angles, try and get the Xayah back into the game. It's not, I mean, they're not too far behind realistically. There's the Zeal, which should be offset a little bit by the completed Berserker Greaves.
Oh, Dia 1?
Oh, good Lord, Dia is in trouble, has enough spirit to rush away though. It's all good, but SGB are the ones making the proactive plays, finding the picks despite the gold. And now maybe DNK? Nope, he's gonna try and evacuate from there, which makes a lot of sense. You have to wait for Dia to try and teleport back in, but even then, I don't necessarily know if you want to fight straight up into 5v5 right now. DNK is going to get caught out. There's a huge tidal wave going to come through, but it passes through the posts. It's a flash force, but that's about all from SBTC.
I think SE should have the move here because there are so many ultimates burn, right? The tidal wave is down, the culling is down, the glacial tomb is down, the glacial prison as well. Like there's only just the all from Cassandra to really make work here. So I think SE should have the angle right here. I mean there are a lot of flashes down, but in general it could just be SE washing away this Drake and then just escaping because there's not really return fire coming through from the side of SGB. And SE definitely wants to have this Drake. I mean we could argue even more about this Camsoul in general. But now Gwen within the pit can deal good DPS damage. Gotta say, she's not really ideal in the 5v5 situations, but this is just a Drake that might just be flipped to the wayside. And SE probably okay like with this for now.
Okay, but here it comes. It's gonna be a lot committed onto Emperor. In comes the Grand Starfall. Emperor's gonna be taken out by Hasmid. That almost saves his life, and Emperor gets him down. Guri will find the win on the Drake, but Froggy falls also. It's 2 for 1, and another charm lands on Guri. Flash away. We'll be able to escape with the Blast Cone. It's a one fight for SBTC, but the Dragon does go to SGB. No jungle available for DNK for SBTC, so they probably can't convert that into a Rift Herald either. Oh, good bubble.
And it's probably SGB being very happy with that one. I mean, they're definitely glad to give away 2 kills to get 1 kill and the Drake, as here we see the fight again. It is not just the Smite fight won by the side of Guri, it's also the lockdown being done very quickly to get DNK really out of it. Shogun is kind of trapped in the pit but can eventually escape from this one. Foggy buys so much time despite falling down. Stasis plus Winger Force before he really dies means he does die, but it definitely buys time and space for his team. So it will be the Drake and the kill for the 2 kills. Nobody claiming the Rift Herald, and SGB gets some time to scale into this game on their terms. And Shogun, getting some money in this fight as well, is definitely firmly ahead of this Xayah pickup. With the Gale Force Rapid Fire Cannon build, not the highest damage in the mid game that we could have maybe hoped for, but definitely a strong utility carry in that regard. And once he finishes at Infinity Edge at the 3rd item, or the Navori Quick Blades even, which is more common nowadays, definitely should be hitting like a truck to these members from SE. And also one problem we just now though, Gwen very strong in the game, but not really the predestined 5-man team fighter, so she definitely struggled in this fight.
Yes. She deals a lot of damage, but she might sometimes have difficulty actually getting to put it into the enemy team. SGB, they reset onto the top side. They decide, we are getting this Rift Herald. We will have that. We will be able to drop that in the mid lane. And they've had a lot of control. They've been using this culling on cooldown onto Slater and just trying to force him out. They probably won't be able to achieve it this push. There's nothing to really apply the pressure. Now DNK lurking in a bush, and Gwen following suit. Emperor just happily now getting to the point where he can just run the bot lane, run the 1v1. Hasmid cannot do all that much to stop him.
Yeah, that's kind of the approach that Saigon Buffalo went with this game, right? Husband had the early lead, and they just now slowly but surely shifted it away from Husband, but toward their own bot lane, which in general is a good thing, of course, with Shogun now being firmly ahead of Slater. So for these next team fights, it will definitely be something that they can work with. But overall, we can't just ignore the elephant in the room, right? SBTC is almost 3k gold ahead right now, with Emperor on the Gwen getting this one auto turret now secured, and the Swift Herald charge being uncompensated by the side of SGB. They are returning the fire and might just get this mid lane auto turret, the most important map control turret. But you see DNK lurking there, they might just force the issue.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna get the pressure in, and with DNK showing himself, okay, that's a huge cease and desist. He's gonna go right into the back line. He's not actually gonna find it. They do pick up Guri, they do pick up Taki,
oh,
but Shogun is still fine. DO1 finds him actually off on the side, and that is a huge win for SBTC. They turn it right back around. They're gonna pick up a mid lane turret, and they control this map. Oh, Froggy!
Foggy outside with the flash there, very low HP, and this might just been buried at the 21-minute mark with 3 kills. It is a within tier 1 turret, and that Herald charge being very much forced by side of SGB, but the Grand Starfall combined with the season, this is just so much backline dive. Shogun tried his best to really cut it out, but at the end of the day just fell to the Spirit Rush from the Ari. Here we see it again, TP in the backline. Here the Grand Starfall, they just come from all angles. Emperor's in the backline as well at the Pantheon, and the Vi early on with this huge disruption play. And it's just nothing SGB can really do against it. And so much collapse, just Shogun on the side and against the R1. And an Ari, mobile champion with a charm, can make it very hard for the Lucian to outplay. So SBTC now really have bitten into the Buffalo itself and just ripped out a huge chunk. Now 7,000 gold up, they have the Baron for more than 2 minutes and could just go for soul point with this next Chemtech fake spawning in less than a minute. And SGB definitely needs to stabilize right now, otherwise the game is out of their hands. And it might just already be.
It's such a huge explosion into the lead. A second Dirk completed for the side of Paulette. He is actually, I mean, he's a damage threat in his own right on this Pantheon. If he can land that big stun onto someone, we saw that combination of the Vi and the Pantheon and that Grand Starfall. And actually, this is something worth mentioning. This is a pretty damaging Vi as well, going for the Divine Sundra into Anathemas. This is something I don't think I've seen ever for at least a year.
Let him cook.
Ever since the why not? Yeah, let him in. Let him do the damage. He's absolutely serving it up. They're gonna pick up this dragon for free. This does waste a bit of time on the Baron, so it's gonna be a bit small reprieve for SGB, but they don't have to deal with it for that much longer. Just 1.5 minutes. They need to try and match these waves. They need to try and sync them up. Because at the moment, they're playing off the 2 lanes and giving an angle for Froggy to maybe steal some gold back in a bounty top.
That's what they do, but I think getting this inner turret much more important than leaving this outer turret in the top lane alone. I mean, just the top lane outer turret. I mean, at the end of the day, it probably will fall anyway. Yeah. But Froggy not even going for it. He just now is recalling, just getting to go for this reset. Soon as our got completed for his side, so he has a second option for stays with SDR1. Gets Glacial Prison, Culling also following. But Saigon Buffalo is trying something, but they aren't landing any damage whatsoever. I mean, they should have been so much more when they use their ultimate buttons. And SBTC doesn't show much respect, but they also don't really need to be showing respect, as Saigon Buffalo just doesn't really do much.
Yeah, insanely high Merc treads value there, able to get out of the Glacial Prison and then just walk away from the culling. And Enpo continuously putting
DNK
down, clearing up that wave. And okay, DNK might have stepped forward, but he's found the cease and desist. Can the follow-up come through? Yes, Enpo has removed Shogun from the fight. Double kill for Gwen. It's traded off for the Vi, but that is absolutely a-okay. But now a lot of low health bars. No re-engage from Froggy. It's just going to take the 2-for-1. Just going to be these towers destroyed. And it's a win for SBTC.
And DNK very trigger heavy this game, just going for this very deep dive on the Vi with the cease and desist. And I mean, it's, as long as you sacrifice yourself for Shogun alone, it would just probably be worth it. Here we see it again. Turret about to die. He just gets it down onto Shogun. Shogun dies before he can really press any button, and DNK dies, but so do Shogun and the opposing jungler in Guri. So 2-for-1 plus a turret, something that SBTC takes any day of the week. And now they up almost 9,000 gold. They are on soul point. The Baron now expired, but the damage definitely is done on the side of SGB. And they are still struggling to find the power spikes, right? Lucian should be strong right now. Very close to hit this Navoy Quick Blades power spike. But he just now quite very frustrating. But he has all the components, but not the finished item. And meanwhile, Slater, who has been kept behind, already has Navois, is now looking towards, I think, the Wilder's Grudge or the Dominic's Regards. Might just be the Wilder's game because he just wants this mid-game power spike. And everyone who really had like a small win doesn't really go for anything. No.
Probably not, but
that is just not good in general, right? I mean, there's like some healing is there, right? This is an army, but no, don't go mortal reminder now.
Okay.
Unless you just
going for the...
unless it costs like 1,400 and here's 1,500 in the shop and could just finish the item, then one team fight and you win because you then have a quicker power spike. Was not efficiency, but in 99 out of 100 cases you shouldn't build mortal reminder here.
Yes, yeah. I don't think mortal reminder is actually cheaper overall, so it's a slightly nicer build.
Then forget it, yeah.
But yeah, that's not really the relevant case here. As final tower outside the base, Slater just going to whack away at that one. Not much Husband can do to defend it against the strength of Emperor and Slater. Now they're going to back off. They're going to feel pretty comfortable. They've gotten themselves a 10,000 gold lead. They just need to wait for the Baron that's coming up in a minute. And with that in hand, they can look to actually crack open the base towers.
Absolutely, and soul point, something that's on the table. 10,000 gold lead now for the SBTC. And I mean, I was speaking from draft onwards, right? The Pantheon pick, kind of the pivotal one here, the volatile one, and it definitely has paid off so far. It hasn't even died, but DNK with another engage, he just now dropping into the Shogun. Tidal Wave to disengage, but the damage is still being done. It's kind of a extended fight with Slater getting the first kill on towards Guri, but this definitely is something that they can go for. Foggy going for this huge stasis flank with the Ring of Frost, and they're kiting it back on the side of SBTC right now. And they actually go for another Ring of Frost. Foggy actually trying a lot there, and Shogun gets the kill into Slater. This is so huge actually. Maybe SGB still having some sort of life in this game, and it's Palette escaping as well at Cassandra. Well, actually, Cassandra dragged him towards this. Double kill for Hasmet. And Hasmet dies, but a huge price being paid. Yeah, one also died to the Nami wave as well. And the objective body is being claimed. SGB are fighting back.
Okay, that's a huge fight from SGB coming out on the skin of their teeth. I'm a little bit... There's just so much distance, but DNK got dragged so far back. This is going to mean they're going to be able to pick up a dragon as well. Objective bounty is going to balance the gold right back. It's already shrunk down about 5,000. They're going to bring it right back even more. Don't you love this system? It's so good. They win one team fight and they shore the gold bleed up by, I don't know how much it is right now. I can't do math on stream. But we just see, despite the ability of Palette to follow up on DNK, Shogun covers so much distance, gets the flash afterwards, and they actually get Guri, but it's beautiful re-engage from Froggy, beautiful work on the stasis, able to find so much damage, so much CC, but it doesn't actually hurt too much for SBTC as they go right back to the Baron. They were delayed, but not denied.
Yeah, they were delayed.
This was a bit of fun.
And
I thought Emperor might have been able to clean up here.
Might be, either way. This shutdown mechanic is definitely playing a huge favor for SGB right now, and I gotta say, they kind of deserve it, right? I mean, they were 10,000 gold down, fighters engaged, Foggy played a very good team for on this Lissandra. I mean, he was in there always, using both his stasis to really just buy more time and space, using the Ring of Frost, using his own ultimate to lock those targets down on the SBTC side, and I think I understand why some people hate these shutdown or bounty mechanics just to come back into this game, but if you're that far ahead as SBTC was, you definitely deserve to lose a lot more than you should when you are in an even state. So no, Baron on their side, yeah, they just try the same thing again, but SGB now having the point to fight back.
Yeah, no, the shutdown was the bounties overall were not actually as damning as I was expecting them to be after the bounty swing from that. In the last series we saw, I was expecting this to be much bigger, but it's with the Baron picked up off the back of it. It's only about 8k difference, maybe 9k now with this turret falling. Frog gonna try and look for something. DNK charging things up. They crack the tower. They don't crack the inhibitor. They have to be a little bit careful. They want to try and crack the second one, but it's still very dangerous to step up against all the CC that SGB can throw out. This Ferelio duo, these two sisters, they can do a lot. They can do a lot of damage, so it's all up to Emperor on the side.
Yeah, and now Shogun is back in the lead against Slater as well, right? I mean, we just now see him finishing his Navois and also the components for the next item. Slater having skipped the rapid fire, but still the push coming from side of SBTC, getting this Baron empowered push, getting the second inhibitor down, or the first inhibitor in general. But the base now being opened on two sides means SGB now definitely needs one more good fight, maybe even two, to really come back into this game yet again. They had this one comeback fight earlier, and SBTC not really having the synergy on the blast plant right there, looking kind of funny, especially with the chem tank empowered blast plants, knocking them all away and splitting them apart. And now Foggy actually leaving this wave to Shogun just shows that they really want Shogun to carry this game, right? Him hitting 4 items would be so huge for them, as well as SE right now. Yeah, they still are like the team that is in the driver's seat here, but they definitely show that they also sometimes make driving mistakes, right? So SGB still in hope that they can turn this game around.
Yeah, we have his 4th item complete from Shogun. He's sitting a whole item ahead of Slater, but it hurts a little bit less when you look at the rest of the map. Sure, it's 3 items apiece for the Dio1 and Froggy, but that's a Rabadon's and a Shadow Flame compared to a Zhonya's and a Morello's. Much more expensive items, much more impactful. If you look at the top lane, it's 2 items ahead for Enpa on this Gwen 504. This is so much damage that comes out of this top laner. If the Gwen ever gets the opportunity, it's a little bit harder to execute now as you can't find a flank into the enemy base. They're just going to try and push up. They're going to try and get the second inhibitor. And from there, they will have a lot of pressure to set up for the Dragon Soul.
They absolutely have, and here we see DNK being onto Gui. And Hasmut trying to get this engage onto his palette. They might just try to get him. Yeah, palette also instantly getting blown up, but also Foggy falling very, very low. But the kills are coming through for SGB's side, and they also just now finish off Enpo, who can't really teamfight, and Foggy actually lives so far. DR1 with an overforced engage, nobody really dying. But here's Slater actually flashing forward, getting 1 kill, but now he's in the status he can probably get focused down by the enemy AD carry. Shogun really getting this kill. But also Shogun dies. It's all of a sudden very much in place. And Taki now getting chopped, he should die to DR1 here. But does he actually do so? Everforce now snaring him. DNK with the follow-up, but they need to hurry. The cavalry is there for side of SGB, and they can't even kill Taki. Actually can kill Taki, but now Gui and Foggy, 2 vs 2 in the bot lane. Gui now dropping very low. DNK missing the vault breaker, probably ending up in nobody really dying right here. And SBTC,
this is so silly.
It's a 3v3 from so far ahead. They should definitely worry about it, and SGB are biting back.
Oh, and the minions saved the tower. If that tower had fallen, that would have been worth it. Actually, they're going to pick up this dragon on top of it all, so it is, in the end, a win for the side of SBTC.
They don't deserve it, though.
Not quite how they wanted it to go. Definitely not. They definitely don't deserve it that much.
They are 10k up,
and
I'm making these fights look close. It's so disgusting, and this game doesn't have a winner. I mean, and I am usually like one of the color casters who's more on the glass half full, more on the positive side. Here we see again how it really played out. Yeah, Foggy with disengage onto its palette. He's kind of falling off on the punch right now.
Just plays so far back. He doesn't get any real autos attacks.
Yeah, Shogun can free hit while Slater can't hit at all. It's so disgusting, right? And the other one just now letting the charm. Shogun can easily cleanse this one. Slater flashing for 1 kill, but he shouldn't really do this one, I think, because Slater is so important in these team fights. Can't really hit him, right? And now the Chemsol being on their side.
Give it up for Divine Sundra healing on DNK, though.
Definitely. And also, like, in these scrappy, extended, like, 1 minute team fights, the Chemsol absolutely does a lot. I mean, Chemsol definitely being criticized in general, but if like everyone drops like to half HP, then it definitely makes it that SE just can keep being alive and also dish out fantastic amounts of damage. But this one definitely being a good helper for them. They are now 7k up again, but they do not convince me in these fights whatsoever. Maybe now with the soul they can still do it, but like mechanically and from the approach itself, they are far from convincing this game, despite probably winning this.
This time they've dragged SGB out of the map, out of their base. They can look for better angles now. They gonna force them back. I feel SBTC should be able to. Don't want to push against SGB a bit too much. They want to leave an angle for Enper to get the wraparound. Instead, Enper's going to be part of the damage dealing on the Baron. It's a lot of damage. It's going down very quickly, but still no
but
real.
Kuri can just walk in.
Out.
Yeah.
Okay, or he could just leave.
The other one just getting this Baron is also like something that's very clumsy. Like DNK should smite secure this one. It actually doesn't happen. It's so rough to watch, really. Either way, they are pushing up this top lane right now. Mid lane, of course, getting the free priority from this Baron or from this inhibitor minions.
Okay,
and DNK stopping recalls. Or just fight it. But can they really fight it? I mean,
one is gonna just kill them, and now it's gonna be a little bit harder. Emperor's, sorry, not Emperor. Yeah, no,
they fight without the AD carry.
All alone. They just tried to stop the backs, but it's not like you had an exposed Nexus. It was such a weird decision. It's a 1-for-1 overall, and they get the inhibitor in the bot lane. They're gonna get the inhibitor in the middle, in the top lane. They can get the inhibitor in the mid lane, and maybe they find the win in the 4v4. But it's Taki for the top laner. Now it's a big back on to DNK. That's so much damage though. DNK will die. Slater is putting out the hurt. He has potential for a pullback. Can't quite find the angle onto Froggy. But still, the minions are streaming in. SBTC are going to back off because they lost another player. But, oh man, SBTC, get it together. One call. Only one thing at a time.
I think it's fine if you put like one member to stop the bases and the rest just pushes top lane, but like having a half screwed up team fight without the AD carry in the late game doesn't really convince me as well. And they kind of, that's a disgusting thing in this one, right? They still kind of end up winning it as they, with the Chemster, the Baron, they get all the free inhibitors, and that alone should net you the win, because it's like having half the Nexus destroyed, as you can just now walk in minion race with 6 super minions. This alone should be very hard to defend, and now with all the champions being there, should be even harder for SGB. So this one likely looking to be a loss on their side. More than 3 minutes of double super minion pressure in every single lane should also be potentially an elder for the side of SBTC, but likely not even go this far, right? SBTC should be able to walk into the base.
It should.
With Baron empowered double super minion waves, and this alone should just mean the end of SGB. However, in this team fights, SGB, I like them much more.
Okay, yeah, they've been putting on a good show so far, but this should really be too much to crack. Good culling coming out of Shogun. It's on a half health Emperor. It's going to do a bit to Slater. Froggy looks for the claw, doesn't follow up on it. Now the waves are pushing in. They've got the Baron buff up, super creeps. It's all or nothing for SGB. If they sit back, it's gonna fall apart, but good reactions from Slater. He's gonna keep it safe. Collapse onto Froggy, but he can buy so much time. Harsmet is gonna take a lot of damage. And on the other side, Shogun is doing his best to fight the minions. Harsmet lives forever, but DNK lives a little bit more. And now the re-engage comes on from Paulette. Froggy's down. There goes the Nexus Tower. So you can just end the game. They're trying to kill Shogun. They're trying to save Tier 1, but just